dream historic series for India has ended up as a disaster. India have lost the second ODI against South Africa by 7 wickets and have also lost the series, the ODI series 2-0. We will discuss the second ODI. I am Shubhayan Chakravarti and I am joined by Nikhil Narayan to discuss the second ODI between India and South Africa. Nikhil, what promised to be a dream historic series has ended up as an empty bucket for India. They have been completely dominated by South Africa here, Nikhil.
Yeah, I mean, very surprising result. I had actually thought it would be 3-0 India, and now we haven't even reached the decider, and India have lost the series. It's a big series loss. I won't say it's a disaster yet because, the relevance of this series, given it's not a part of the World Cup Super League, also this year is not very important for ODI cricket. India is building a team. India is in transition. New captain Virat Kohli has just, resigned. So given that, I don't think it's a disastrous result, but it's a surprising result. I think India was still strong enough to win the series. But kudos to South Africa, Shubhayan. It is their first series win in their last four after losing to Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka drawing in Ireland and losing to Pakistan at home. They finally got one win under the belt. And this also, Shubhayan, for me, marks the resurgence of South Africa in international cricket. Remember, in the World T20, they almost made it to the semi-finals, just behind Australia. They were left out on net run rate. Then they've beaten a more fancied India in the Test series, massive result that. And now, again, they've beaten India in the ODI series. That could just spark a resurgence in South African cricket.
Absolutely, Nikhil. Remember, before the series, we all talked about how it promises to be the final frontier for India. It was the final frontier for India. They were placed in their best position to win the Test series. And of course, we saw how they dominated the ODI sector in the last time they visited South Africa. But ultimately, it has come crashing down for the men in blue here. Under KL Rahul's captaincy, we will talk about the scorecard as well here. 287 runs KL Rahul's men in blue scored today in today's match. He led the side with a brilliant 55-run knock. It was slow. We will debate a lot about that because I'm reading a lot of opinions about that. But Rishabh Pant, what a fabulous knock that was! 85 runs. He deserved a century there, Nikhil, today.
Absolutely. The biggest positive for me, not only from this match, but the entire Test series is Rishabh Pant's batting. That brilliant 100 in Cape Town, again in a losing cause, reaffirming his, greatness as a middle order batsman. What he did in the Gabba, what he did in Ahmedabad, then in Cape Town. And then again, in ODI cricket, Rishabh Pant has scored now 350s in his last 4 innings. Today, again, he was brilliant. He counter-attacked. He took India out of a rut. When he came out to bat, the run rate had gone down to 4.5. When he was dismissed finally, the run rate was up to 5.7. So Rishabh Pant had done his bit. Now those 30s and 40s are getting converted into 70s and 80s in ODI cricket. And the next step in his evolution would be the 70s and 80s get converted into the big hundreds and he finishes matches for India. Shubhayan.
Absolutely. And let's touch upon KL Rahul's knock there. Even though he scored 55 run today, but it was again an anchorish sort of an innings when Rishabh Pant at the other end was going all out, one may say that India lost a chance to cross the 300 run mark when KL Rahul sort of curbed his instinct to go all out and dominate the show out there in the middle. What do you think about that, Nikhil?
Yeah, absolutely, Shubhayan. I don't think this will work for India. Firstly, I don't think KL Rahul opening is right. I understand Rohit Sharma is not there in the series. Still, India should have opened with Ruturaj and played Rahul at number 5. I think they made a mistake there because when Rahul opens, he doesn't know what to do. He sometimes attacks, mostly he's playing anchor. When he has the game to destroy any bowling lineup in the world, why would he play anchor and score at a strike rate of 75-80? Today, his strike rate was just 70. I know India lost Dhawan and Kohli in quick succession, But if you score 55 of 79, then get out, look at the number of deliveries you have wasted on a placid track. This was a 310, 320 track and not a 285 track. So I think KL Rahul and in the Indian think tank, Rahul Dravid, need to think about KL Rahul's role. He's already done brilliantly for India in the last couple of years at number 5, and that is his position in ODI cricket.
Completely second that. Completely second that, Nikhil. But one of the biggest talking points about that India's first innings where they scored 287 run was about Virat Kohli. Another duck under his belt, his first ever in ODI cricket, his ODI cricket career. What has happened to Virat Kohli, Nikhil? We are seeing him completely different. It doesn't seem like a natural Virat Kohli. It seems a bit different now, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's also human. He's been, he's resigned from Test captaincy. It's been taken away from him. He's not looking the same energetic, animated Virat Kohli anymore on the field. He's just like a lost soul, very isolated. Even the dressing room, he's sitting with Dhawan, not very chirpy, not animated. So he doesn't know whether to get involved, not to get involved. And that is also reflecting in his batting. I think he will come back. He will make a comeback with the bat. Just, this is a difficult series for him because a lot has happened in Indian cricket in the last few years. But one problem I see emerging from him as a batsman in limited overs cricket, Shubhayan, is his problem against spinners. In T20 cricket, he cannot accelerate against them. His last 4 dismissals in ODIs have been against spinners. His pace to spin dismissal ratio is getting reduced, which means his dismissals to spinners are increasing since December 2019, since his slump overall started in international cricket. So this problem against spin, in this series also, he got out to in both the matches to left-arm spinners, against whom his strike rate is only 77 in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So Kohli needs to address this, problem against spin. The Kohli we knew 215, 16, 17, 18 dominated spin bowling. That Kohli is nowhere, this Kohli is nowhere close to that Virat Kohli.
Yeah, absolutely, Nikhil. And it feels a bit weird after witnessing Virat Kohli dominate ODI cricket. It feels a bit weird to see him, down and out completely in a format which he loves to bat on. Before we move to South Africa's batting, Nikhil, what did you make of Shreyas Iyer and Venkatesh Iyer in this series so far? Both of them have gotten chances to make a stamping authoritative knock in the first 2 ODIs, but both of them have somewhat failed so far.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be too critical of Venkatesh Iyer, Shubhayan, because he made his ODI debut in this series. But Shreyas Iyer, he's played enough number of matches, and he had the opportunity in both the matches to play that, crucial high impact knock in the lower middle order and win India the match. But he failed in both the matches. I'm very disappointed with Shreyas Iyer's performance in this series. He has actually failed in 5 of his last 6 matches. And I was not in favor of playing Shreyas Iyer in the team. I wanted Surya Kumar Yadav, the X factor he brings in this team. But, Rahul decided to go with the same 11. I think Shreyas Iyer needs to make his performances count. This is international cricket. You cannot be... he was given a platform and he failed twice on a placid track. At this level, you need to be better, Shubhayan.
Completely. And India haven't played much of ODI cricket in the last 12 months, but it is a format which holds very high value going forward in the next couple of years because of the ODI World Cup. And you would want India to, start stepping up on the gas, given that the road to the World Cup has officially begun, and you would expect Rahul Dravid to sit down and chalk out more firmer plans after this debacle. But Nikhil, we will move on to the Indian bowlers, the bowling show. Again, a disappointing outing for most of the bowlers, although Jasprit Bumrah did reasonably well, we could say. But what about Bhuvneshwar Kumar? Completely looks flat out there.
Yeah, I think, the thing is, Bhuvneshwar Kumar's ODI career did transform since 2019. He's done very well. But Bhuvi of today, he bowls in the late 120s, early 130s. At that pace, on a placid, flat track, you will be, plundered for runs. And that's exactly what happened in both the ODIs at Pal. Look at his economy rate. No wickets, economy rate around 7.5 combined in both the matches. So it was a mistake playing Bhuvneshwar Kumar today. It's not his fault. The wicket does not suit his kind of bowling. There is no swing, there's no seam, there's no pace. Prashit Krishna should have played. India needed extra space in this match. But again, they were rigid. They did not change the 11. They wanted to give, process and team building a chance. So again, I won't fault Bhuvneshwar, but on unhelpful tracks, Bhuvneshwar Kumar is not even 110 the bowler. He is on helpful tracks.
Absolutely, and I would love to know your opinion about Ravichandran Ashwin as well in this series so far, because in the test, even in the test series, he didn't get many wickets, and rightly so. He wasn't expected to get a handful of wickets there, but in ODI cricket, he has looked completely flat in the two matches we have witnessed so far. He's looking like Rassi van der Dusen reverse sweeping him comfortably. It's very unlike Ravichandran Ashwin.
Yeah, absolutely. I expected Ashwin to get more, given the South African spinners who are not even in the same league as Ashwin. They perform better, whether it's a Markram or Maharaj, or a Tabrez Shamsi. Ashwin not getting wickets for me was a concern. He bowled well in the first match, but very disappointing today. Chahal was disappointing in the first match, but he bowled well today, Chahal. He bowled well today. He was unlucky. He could have had a few wickets. But just when it's not going well for you, it doesn't go well for you. And, in totality, if you see the numbers, the Indian spinners were outperformed by the South African spinners in the series. So, which is, which is actually a shocking result given the pedigree of the two Indian spinners.
Absolutely, Nikhil, and let's move to the South African batting as well. You started this show by saying that it is good for South African cricket. In the Test series, we saw how Keegan Peterson came up and dominated the show in the second and the third Test along with Dean Elgar. But here we are also witnessing a very special talent in Janeman Malan. Janeman Malan, since making his ODI debut, he has raked up runs for fun, and we are showing why he has been rated so highly by the South African pundits and the former cricketers.
Absolutely. I think he's an average of 75 in the 12 innings he has batted since his ODI debut. That's a sensational start, Shubhayan, for anyone in his ODI career. He and then Quinton de Kock, we all know his class. Today he was given a chance early in his innings, and he made India pay. I'm not surprised. Janeman Malan seems to be a class player, 300s already early in his ODI career, and today his partnership with Quinton de Kock, they completely took the match away from India. 132-run opening stand, the 7th highest for South Africa versus India for the opening wicket. It was just a brilliant performance. Also, de Kock's stats against India, his numbers against India are also phenomenal. He has scored some 500s against India. His average is around 60 against India. So, de Kock is the class player, and now he's only focusing on limited overs cricket. He'll be keen. South Africa does well in this format with the T20 World Cup this year and the ODI World Cup next year. So de Kock, remains one of the most talented and high impact batsmen in limited overs cricket in the world.
Absolutely, Nikhil, and you would expect South Africa to revive their cricketing structure after this historic, memorable series win. I would rather say a tour win, a complete tour win. They won the Test series, they won the ODI series, but again a disappointing end for India. A tour which promised so much of expectation, so much of history. But ultimately, Rahul Dravid's coached side returns empty-handed. We will take a look at the scorecard here. South Africa, as you can see, have chased down to 288 runs comfortably. Janeman Malan scoring 91 runs, Quinton de Kock 78 runs. Indian bowlers fell flat, barring Jasprit Bumrah. And in the first innings, Rishabh Pant had played a flamboyant special knock of 85 runs, whereas KL Rahul scored a patient half-century 55 run. that was it for the second ODI. India would be very disappointed after losing the ODI series, but would be itching to not end up empty-handed and get at least one win in the bag. You are expecting a few changes, Nikhil, if I'm not wrong, right, for the series decider.
I mean, may as well make a few changes, try something radical, win that match. It's a consolation match, but you don't want a 3-0 sweep. Doesn't look good, in the history books. So I think India should make some changes, be a little more daring, and go for a win in that match. Little bit of prestige is at stake. It's not a big series. I'm saying that again. India is in transition. This is not a disaster like the Test series, but a series loss is a series loss.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nikhil, for joining in. It was a fun chat as always. For all our viewers, let us know where you think India went wrong in this ODI series, and keep watching News 9 for all the latest developments all around the world. Like, share, and subscribe to News 9. Thank you and good night.